Well, our first guest joining me in the studio is Mr. Brian Altunian. He is the CEO of WOWIO Incorporated. Brian, always good to see you.
Thank you, Don.
You know, Brian, what's always fascinated me about your company, we've seen this summer a very strong box office in Hollywood. A lot of hit shows now, and brand new television shows are debuting on our home box, as we call it. But what you've done with ebooks and your technology has basically, we're seeing a blurring of the line between movies, television, and books with the advent of ebooks, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right. It's you know, it really is all about content. You know, for folks such as me who've been in the entertainment industry for years and years, you know, it's always been the claim that content is king. And I know that there have been a lot of folks, establishments in that industry that have sort of laughed at that concept, and they're the ones that are now suffering with the digital distribution of content coming in and taking a whack at the traditional distribution means. And so you're right, we are seeing a blurring of the lines, because what's happening now is as devices are getting more mobile and, you know, devices in our hands, and the way we're consuming our media is changing to fit our personal lifestyle, the consumer is now expecting to see all of that content, you know, available at any time, free in many cases. And so, yeah, we are seeing the studios are having to make adjustments, networks are having to make adjustments in how they deliver content, how the content comes to the consumer. And, you know, ebooks definitely an extension of all of that. Is, at the end of the day, it's all about storytelling. And so books are original form of storytelling, and so ebooks are it's just a natural evolution in that space.
You remind me of a talk I gave at a university about 25 years ago, where I was saying we're going to see a paradigm shift where the content deliverers were in control at that time, but it's going to shift to where the content providers were going to adapt and become more controlling in what they can accomplish, and you're absolutely right. That's
right. Well, and to your original point, you know, the box office, what we're seeing in the studio levels, the studios are putting up movies in the $5 million range and the $150 million budget ranges. And so they're really kind of going on opposite ends. But the reality is, in that if you look at it like a bell curve, the bulk of that is, you know, happening now. The availability of, you know, low-cost production and now low cost of distribution. A lot of folks are jumping into the filmmaking space. A lot of folks are jumping into the publishing space. And publishing, and an author is looking at, you know, how does self-publishing impact, you know, how does that going to impact the traditional publishing route, and realize that they can go directly to their consumer through the internet. And, you know, we at WOWIO are hoping to take advantage of that, you know, of that movement, that folks are getting the point where they can write a book. I mean, already we see prolific bloggers writing their own books, speakers who are writing their own books, and now reaching out directly to their audience, and now they have a means to do that, and not just here in the U.S., but on a global scale.
And it's amazing, because you know, WOWIO is basically riding the crest of this wave, so to speak. I mean, you have the patent with allowing advertising to go into ebooks. I mean, that puts you in an extremely enviable position.
Right, right. Well, and our perspective on all that is that at the end of the day, just like all the traditional means of media to date, there's going to be an advertising component, because the choices are going to go broad, and which means there's a lot of content that's going to be available, and there's got to be a way for the producer or the maker or the writer to get paid. Right. Advertising is a way to do that.
You're right, and I think there's less people aren't so opposed to seeing advertising in their media now. It's just become accepted.
No, for sure, and it's definitely, it was a big point of resistance initially in ebooks, but now that is starting to melt away. We're starting to see it come to pass. We actually launched a new initiative called Cause Books, where we're actually going to try to show how a way that advertising can actually be used for good, by bringing a celebrity who has a related charity and a sponsor who wants to participate with that charity and with that celebrity, so that a person can download a book, sponsor pays for the book with a portion of it going to a charity. So it's a win-win-win. Consumer gets a free ebook, sponsor gets, you know, a relationship with that consumer and that charity and that celebrity. Celebrity wins, makes money for its charity. It's a great campaign. We've just recently launched it. We've got a lot of interest, which we're really excited about. And it's a way to show advertising working for a greater good, which at the end of the day is what we're all about.
And isn't it amazing how social media has taken all of that and brought it to another level?
Absolutely, absolutely, because it's all about connecting with one another. As much as people think that, you know, you're on your computer and so you're not socializing, we've created a whole new way of socialization.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, I know the last time you were on the program, you were pretty excited. The company is going to be moving towards the public market. Any progress there?
Yeah, well, we're definitely making progress. We're circling the circling the wagons. We're on some financing to get us out there to that to that market. The NASDAQ BX venture market the launch of that has been pushed off to the first quarter of next year, probably because of economic conditions and other reasons, but we're hoping to be able to file and move up to that venture market right away. I like that market. The over-the-counter market has now been, it's really been under siege by almost an institutionalized form of assault on early stage companies, really tying their hands in their ability to get access to capital. I think that the venture market's going to be a step out of that fray and out of that mess. And we've seen some of the companies we've been associated with do some reverse splits in order to kind of jump up to that market as well and just get out of the morass of what we've seen in the marketplace lately. So our goal is to get out there first quarter.
WOWIO Incorporated, go to their website, wowio.com, to get a first-hand view of the wave of technology with respect to ebooks. Brian, always a pleasure.
Thanks again, Don.
Take care.